Buffalo Bulls. You got the best rushing attack in the MAC behind not one but 2,000-yard rushers. Jared Patterson, Kevin Marks, they're walking off the bus, getting ready for the Bahamas Bowl. Charlotte also doing the same. 49ers filing in, getting ready for their first ever bowl appearance at the Makers won a Bahamas Bowl, riding a 5-game winning streak for them. Going to be a good one there. Win's going to be a factor, but these two teams just like to run the football. It's College Football Live. Jonathan Vilma, Emmanuel Acho. I'm Jason Fitz. Got a lot of bowl. It's the official kickoff of bowl season, gentlemen. We got a lot to get to, so we're going to get everybody ready for this the best way we can. We're going to do a little bowl blitz, first 4-down style. So let's start with first down. Emmanuel Acho, the bowl you are the most excited to see. Go.
The bowl I'm most excited about is the Texas Bowl, Oklahoma State A&M. And why am I excited, gentlemen? Because we'll get to learn so much about the teams. People have crushed A&M all year for 5 losses. Well, they lost to Clemson, Alabama, LSU, Auburn, Georgia, teams that just about everybody would have lost to. And then you see that guy right there, Chuba Hubbard, number 30, who wouldn't be excited to watch that man. So that's going to be a phenomenal game. We'll learn a lot.
Well, I like that, Acho. What I really want to see is that Citrus Bowl, Michigan versus Alabama. First time Alabama not in the college football playoff. Michigan, who knows? Are they good? Are they not good? We will find out. You're talking about top talent all over the place. I don't care who's playing, who's not playing. I want to see Michigan match up versus Alabama in that speed and tell me if they're for real next year.
Look, gentlemen, when you're a little guy, you always join up with a big guy. So I'm going to join up with Vilma on this one. I think that one's a big one for Alabama, Michigan, because, frankly, it matters for both of these schools. So often when they're in bowl games, we want to make excuse for the result, saying that one thing does or doesn't matter depending how the outcome is. But for Alabama, this thing matters for what they're trying to accomplish. And at this point, trying to figure it out. They've whistled me out. Second down. We'll go to the next one here. Let's go to the under-the-radar bowl matchup. Vilma, what one are you most excited for under the radar?
Man, Fitz, I'm going to take you out to the Alamo Bowl, Utah versus Texas. Why? It's all about R-E-S-P-E-C-T, respect. Utah got none of it all season long. The only time they had a shot, they lose to Oregon. Texas, we're back? Are we back? I don't know. Win this game and then get some respect, and then you may have a chance to be back next year.
For me, it's the Camping World Bowl. That's Iowa State versus Notre Dame. Again, gentlemen, I just want to learn a lot in these bowl games. Ian Book, we know how good he is, but Iowa State, another team with 5 losses, but they lost to 1 point to Iowa, 2 points to Baylor, 1 point to Oklahoma. I want to see Iowa State match up against another solid ball club.
You guys are close, but no cigar on this one. It's definitely the Cotton Bowl, and it's because of Memphis, not Penn State. Look, they've done it under Fuentes. Now they've done it under Mike Norvell. We start the Ryan Silverfield era. Let's see what that looks like for them. They've had sustained success under 2 coaches for a group of 5 school that's trying to look to grow to the next level. If they can add a 3rd coach to have that level of success under, that means something. This bowl game means a lot to them. If they can somehow get a win over Penn State and get to 13 on the season, woo! That is the type of win you need. I got whistled again. All right. Ooh. Next up, we'll go.
Fitz, you got me amped up over here, Fitz.
That's what I do. Come on now. Let's go to an under-the-radar player. Vilma, who's under the radar for you?
Well, I take you right back out to the Alamo Bowl. Zach Moss, under the radar. He set the rushing record for Utah. He is tough as nails. We talk about all the SEC running backs. He should be right up there with them. Maybe not as explosive, but you're talking about tough. You're talking about durable. He looks for contact. So I can't wait to see Texas, who's known to not have a great defense, how do they match up and how does he perform against them?
Vilma, you're going to like this one. I'm going with linebacker for OU, Kenneth Murray. People are going to have to beg me to shut up because I'm about to sing this man's praises for the next 10 or so days. He's a beast. He's a dog. He's a monster. Wasn't even a Butkus finalist, JV, but LSU Tiger fans will learn the name of that dude, number 9, Kenneth Murray.
Also playing to your audience right there, picking a linebacker. I'm just saying, okay, I'm going to go to today's game with the Bahamas Bowl. Kevin Marks, the running back. He's the other running back for Buffalo. We're all used to hearing about Jared Patterson, but the fact is Marks also over 1,000 yards over the last 2 games, averaging 7.5 per carry. He's actually getting a bigger workload than we realize as this thing goes, and I've talked to some people around the program. They expect him to be huge today, especially with the win being a factor. He's going to make a big statement, and people are going to see an eye on what the future for Buffalo looks like today with Kevin Marks getting some run. I got out before the whistle. Cut me off this time. I feel like I'm doing well, gentlemen. All right, so.
There it is. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
It's 4th down at this point, so we're not going to punt. No, we're going to go for one more. Who needs a bowl win the most this season? We'll start with Acho. Who you got?
Tom Herman. not Texas, Tom Herman. Everybody knows kind of the turmoil this week between him giving people the finger, and it wasn't these ones. Now, there's a huge difference between 8-5 and 7-6. Tom Herman shut up the haters. He can shut up the doubters and the critics by beating a playoff caliber Utah team. He needs a big, big win.
Oh, Acho, I love that we're calling out coaches because I'm calling out Jim Harbaugh. Not Michigan, Jim Harbaugh. I need to see a legitimate victory versus a top-tier opponent. It has not happened, and for what he's getting paid by Michigan, it needs to happen. If not, you tell me another coach that can go in there and then find a way to win, because this is not it right now. Michigan demands excellence. Jim Harbaugh, give me, produce, excellence.
This one for me, gentlemen, is all about Michigan State. Man, they were 6-6 this year. They lose in the bowl, they're going to be 6-7, and they only had the 42nd ranked recruiting class on signing day a couple of days ago. Michigan State is looking around trying to figure out how they turn this thing around. I don't see an easy answer, and a loss in the bowl game will only continue to question whether or not they need wholesale change top to bottom around that program. So I think there's a lot riding for Michigan State. Okay, that is our blitz through 4 downs of all things that you need to know about the bowls. We got a lot more coming for you, obviously, as the college football playoff semis are just over a week away. We got a great duel coming up between Clemson and Ohio State out in the desert. We're going to crunch those numbers next to give you everything you need to know about that matchup coming up next on CFB Live. In the meantime, we got a little bit more warm-up action here. Kyle Van Treese, I just gave all the running backs love. Well, they do have a quarterback there in Buffalo that's won 5 of his last 6 games. That's how they got there in the first place. 7 touchdowns to 1 interception for him this year, 5-2. And then also Chris Reynolds standing on the other side of it, getting his warm-ups in. Best total QBR of any quarterback in Conference USA. One of 3 quarterbacks in CUSA to have 3,000 combined passes.
28 on ESPN.
None of the teams in this playoff have more experience than Clemson over the last 4 years in the college football playoff. Remember, 2015, Deshaun Watson and the Tigers fell to Bama 45-40 in the title game out in Glendale after that playoff where they got past Oklahoma. Then in 16, Clemson would get its revenge in Tampa. Hunter Renfro's touchdown reception with 1 second left gave Clemson its first national title since 1981. Round 3 between Clemson and Bama went to the Tide. Clemson, quarterbacked by Kelly Bryant, fell to Alabama in the semifinal in the Sugar Bowl, of course. And then last season, Clemson dominated its 2 playoff games, beating Notre Dame 30-3 and then giving Alabama its worst loss in the Nick Saban era in the national title game, 44-16. Brad Edwards has more on this year's matchup.
Ohio State and Clemson are the 2 most complete teams.
All we do win.
On paper, this is the most compelling semifinal in the brief history of the college football playoff. The starting quarterbacks were the top 2 recruits in the 2018 signing class. But that's just one storyline that makes this a must-see event. The defenses are the top 2 in efficiency this season, and neither team has an apparent weakness, as both rank very high in all phases of the game. But this isn't just a great game for 2019. It's a game for the ages. FPI rates the Buckeyes and Tigers as the 2 best teams this season and among the best in recent history. In 16 years of FPI data, this is only the 2nd matchup between opponents that both rate at least 32 points above average. The other was the epic championship game between Texas and USC at the end of the 2005 season. Games like this don't come around very often.
I mean, let's remember, gentlemen, there was a battle for number 1 in the playoff seedings because nobody wanted to face Clemson out of the gate. It's exactly what Ohio State has to do. So, Manuel Acho, which of these 2 defenses has the tougher task in this game in your mind?
Gentlemen, I've submerged myself in the tape over the last 2 weeks, and it is a no-brainer. The Ohio State defense has a tougher task. What I've learned is that Ohio State's offense is very, very good. Clemson's is better. T. Higgins, Trevor Lawrence, ETN, Justin Ross. There's just too many freakazoids, even when you play perfect coverage, Vilma. Even when you make the right call, those guys can just do more. Simple as that.
I agree with you. And we're talking about the Ohio State secondary having the most trouble, it's really going to be about Jeff Okudah, who's supposed to be a top pick. Shaun Wade eventually will be a top pick. Damon Arnett's supposed to be a very good corner. So I want to see those three match up against the guys you just mentioned, T. Higgins, Justin Ross, and Amari Rodgers, because the facts are they're going to have to play man in order to stop the run in Travis Etienne. If they don't stop the run, then it doesn't matter. But if they can, they got to hold up on the outside.
Acho, let's stay here for a second, though, because there was a narrative, especially during the North Carolina game, that Clemson had taken a step back. So what's been the change in Clemson recently versus the Clemson we saw early in the season?
Fitz, I'm glad you posed this question because it's ridiculous, especially when you talk about fans in their world of fandom. Well, you said Clemson wasn't good. You said Trevor Lawrence was bad. Dude, early on in the season, Trevor Lawrence, 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He had shown some signs of weakness since October 1st. 20 touchdowns, no interceptions, no weaknesses, no vulnerabilities, no errors whatsoever. So what changed, Fitz? They grew. They progressed. They got better. It's really that simple. Everybody tries to criticize and critique when analysts go from one end to the other. No, we analyze the tape and it exists at the moment, and Clemson has moved on.
Acho, you tell them it's a moving target all season long. As the teams play better, players play better, that's how we look at it and we analyze the tape. What I will say is Trevor Lawrence has finally trusted his receivers. He's trusted the offensive line and trust the game plan Dabo Swinney puts in each week. Before, he wanted to be Mr. Everything. You didn't have to do that. Once he finally trusted the system, that's when his numbers took off and the offensive play for Clemson took off.
And let me say this, Joe Burrow won all the awards, and rightfully so, all the accolades. Oh, my God, and he deserved it. But I think Trevor Lawrence is playing the best football in the country right now.
Ooh.
Well, and to the point you both have made, one of the things that's interesting about what analysts have to do is it's like writing a book report after every chapter of a book. It might look really good, but look different by the end of the book for sure. So let's stick with the book report aspect here of this game. Vilma, who's the X factor in this game to you?
It's going to be Shaun Wade. I'm going right back to the Ohio State secondary because I already know what they can do. They, as in Justin Ross, T. Higgins, Amari Rodgers, you throw in there for the Clemson wide receivers. Shaun Wade is going to be the target because Jeff Okudah, we know about his coverage skills. When they go into cat coverage, the first thing, if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm saying, okay, where is Jeff Okudah? Now, where's the other matchup? Because that other matchup one-on-one, right now on paper, it's a win for Clemson. Every time. And we saw exactly what happened when Alabama decided that they're going to play man in the championship. They got torched. They got obliterated. So Shaun Wade, he better step up. It's going to be a big game.
I respect that, Vilma, and I'll play right off that. To me, it's my Nigerian brethren, Jeff Okudah. If I can shout out a Nigerian, you better believe I always will. But that's the dude on the other side of the field that Vilma was talking about. He was up for the Thorpe Award. That's best defensive back in the nation. If he can lock up one side of the field, if he can say, hey, y'all don't worry about it, I'm good over here. Y'all leave me with T on an island and I'm going to shut down this side, then Ohio State can be all right. Now you can take the safety and you can double the other receivers. You can take a safety and you can bring him in the box to help with Etienne. If Okudah can lock up one side of the field, then Ohio State's defense should be just fine.
Yeah, Fitz, if you see the theme here, what we've been talking about, we know there's a run game. We know there's Chase Young. We know all the other aspects of the game. But the most important is being able to cover those outside receivers because they are so good. They are Sunday players. If you can't cover them, Ohio State, you have no chance in this game.
Well, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because ultimately we haven't paid as much attention to Clemson. I think a lot of people are going to get an awakening to how good Clemson is right now as we continue to look forward for that game. So we'll see how it plays out, and we'll keep track of your decisions to see how well you guys tracked all of it. In the meantime, we got more warm-ups here. Jared Patterson getting ready. Buffalo again, just a huge running game. 2 running backs over 1,000 yards.
Besides the college football playoff games.
In the meantime, Alex Highsmith warming up right now. If you don't know who he is, you will. Defensive end, second in FBS in tackles for loss with 25 and sacks with 14. Only Chase Young has more in each of those categories. He's having a great year. And today, of course, bowl season begins. Buffalo takes on Charlotte in the Makers Wanted Bahamas Bowl next here on ESPN. Then at 7:30 on ESPN2, it's Jordan Love at Utah State taking on Dustin Crum and Kent State in the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco Bowl. Here's Todd McShay on who he's watching in that one.
Well, the one player to watch in this game in terms of the NFL is Jordan Love, the quarterback for Utah State. This guy, he struggled this year. He didn't have the season that he expected to have. 16 interceptions so far And on the big stage against LSU, not his best game. But if you study him from a physical tool standpoint, there's a lot to work with. That's why NFL teams are really looking at him maybe as a day 2 prospect somewhere in that 3rd round range. He's 6'4", 225 pounds. He's got mobility. He loves the game. He's got great passion for it. He's very intelligent. He's just got to be a better decision maker. And I think that's going to be the big difference at the next level. It's going to take 2 or 3 years. But again, as a 3rd round pick, watch Love today. He's going to have a huge game, I think, in his final game against Kent State in the bowl.
Features on them in game day. What they've done this year has been pretty spectacular. A lot of people are going to find that out. Even though they lost to Memphis, there's still a lot of good for SMU. Now, if y'all know me at all, you know I love free stuff. Like, that's just how I am. Any swag I can get, I want. Well, here's some of the swag guys are getting. The Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit. Sticker Genius life-size photo slap decals for each participant of his likeness. God, I need that. The Academy Sports and Outdoor Texas Bowl. They get a Justin Cowboy hat, a belt buckle. The PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. They get PlayStation PS4 gift packages. Come on. So, guys, what are the best packages? What are the best free things you've ever got? Oh, how could I forget? Fanny packs. We have fanny packs. My God, I need the fanny pack, especially
I don't know
with
why
your
we showed that
sense.
one, Fitz. That's an L. We shouldn't have showed the fanny pack. That's not a win. Yeah.
Mike Golick Jr. is having an absolute fit right now. He still wants to bring the fanny pack back. I mean, Acho, you got no room with the skin-tight suits for the fanny pack. Well, come on, you know you love it.
Look, I couldn't
with
use
the
a fanny
spandex
pack.
cut.
But what I could use was a recliner chair. I got that as a bowl gift back in like 08, 09. Threw it right in the apartment, JV, and I was kicked back for 2 months straight.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I got a PS 1 or 2. I'm not going to date myself.
Hey,
so
don't date yourself,
JV. I got one of those.
I got a
back in the
Sega
day.
Genesis.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to send me for dealing with you for the last half an hour, I'll take. Just send it on. All right, Bahamas Bowl is up next. Keep hanging out with us on ESPN.